We could literally hear crickets chirping in the theater. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst comedy movies of the last decade.
Pain is the touchstone of growth.
That'd be a badass t-shirt.
For this list, we're taking a look at comedies released between 2010 and 2019 that were so unfunny it's actually kind of infuriating.
I am Lord Charlie Mordecai, and this little bit of magic is my mustache.
Number 10, The Hangover Part III. The original Hangover closed out the aughts with some of the decade's biggest laughs. The franchise collapsed going into the 2010s, however, with 2 disappointing sequels. While The Hangover Part III at least isn't a beat-for-beat retread like its 2011 predecessor, it also barely resembles the first film. Heck, it doesn't even resemble a comedy.
Where'd you learn that word?
Words with friends.
What friends, Alan?
You can set it on random.
It's more like a gritty action picture with heroes who are more toxic than charming, villains who are more menacing than humorous, and an overall tone that's just mean-spirited. It doesn't help that the film essentially gets hijacked by Ken Jeong's Mr. Chow, who's funny in small doses, but a little of him goes a long way.
I love cocaine!
Can we please forget this movie ever happened?
We had no idea.
We were trying to help you. We thought you'd be happy.
Number 9, Fred the Movie.
Somebody call 911. Shorty fire burning on the dance floor. Whoa.
Lucas Cruikshank is to Generation Z what Pauly Shore was to millennials. Neither of these comedians is funny, but somehow they managed to produce a series of awful movies that people actually watched. Cruikshank rose to prominence with his YouTube alter ego Fred Figglehorn, quite possibly the most insufferable character ever to grace any medium.
I'm not a wimp.
Seriously, we can't stand listening to Fred's obnoxiously high-pitched voice for more than a second. So, whose bright idea was it to give this past a feature-length TV movie with a budget of roughly $4 million? The best way to experience Fred the Movie is with your head buried in sand. At least the sand would give a more natural performance than Cruikshank. Also, how dare you waste John Cena?
What's wrong with you? Have I taught you nothing?
Number 8, Zoolander 2.
And then why kill all those pop stars? Why kill Justin Bieber?
Really? You're asking me why I killed Justin Bieber?
Ben Stiller had a decade and a half to develop a sequel to his cult comedy Zoolander. Instead of building upon his original creation, though, Stiller lazily recycles gags from the first film, which we've already rewatched dozens of times already.
And somehow you've managed to stay the same. But you're gonna have to change, my man. Because change, she is a-coming.
On the rare occasion that Zoolander 2 does try telling a new joke, it always deteriorates into a sea of confusion and randomness. Hey, Fred Armisen's head has been CGI'd onto a little kid's body. Oh look, Benedict Cumberbatch is playing a non-binary character.
So, are you like a male model or a female model?
Well, it's not defined by binary constructs.
Ah, it's Kiefer Sutherland, Susan Sarandon, and Ariana Grande for some reason. How is any of this funny? We'd say that this movie is full of setups with no payoffs, but most of the jokes don't even have proper setups.
I am your father.
Number 7, Loqueesha.
This ain't no Narnia, but I am the lion, you are the witch, and it's time for you to come out of the wardrobe. This could actually work.
You know all those straight white men who feel like they have it worse than everyone else in today's politically correct climate? Well, Jeremy Savile made a movie for that demographic, and it is every bit as tasteless as the premise suggests.
They want women and minorities. They don't want white guys like me telling them what to do. If I was a black woman, I'd be perfect.
In addition to directing, writing, and producing, Savile plays Joe, a Caucasian man who lands his own radio show by pretending to be an African-American woman.
You live with Loqueesha. Hey, Loqueesha. My name's Ted. Ted rhymes with dead. You sound dead inside. I am Loqueesha. You got no spunk, no spark, no sizzle.
With smarter filmmakers at the helm, maybe Loqueesha could have been a bold satire about white privilege and woke culture. Instead, it feels like 98 minutes of listening to an out-of-touch guy preach about racism, suicide, and other serious topics that he clearly does not understand. What's worse, the film isn't funny, not even in a shocking way.
You know, Loqueesha, I think you're a sensation. And I think you're a Sagittarius. Well, I started out as a Sagittarius, but I ended up as a Libra.
Number 6, Dirty Grandpa.
I haven't had sex in 15 years, Jason.
Jake LaMotta, Travis Bickle, young Vito Corleone. These are just some of the iconic characters Robert De Niro has portrayed throughout his illustrious career. He also played Dick Kelly, an old man who repeatedly pokes his finger up his adult grandson's derriere. It's not enough for Dirty Grandpa to deface De Niro's legendary filmography. It's also a humiliating star vehicle for Zac Efron, who spends a good portion of the film half naked. We get that the filmmakers are trying to make a raunchy sex comedy, but even gross-out humor requires effort.
Who's a lesbian?
That's my grandson, Jason.
Yeah? Is he here to sizzle with me?
Not only are the one-liners unbelievably tacky, they're surrounded by a cliched odd couple scenario about an uptight lawyer and his wacky grandpa. All we can say is, thank goodness for The Irishman.
What's up now, bro? Yeah, what's up now, bro?
Number 5, That's My Boy. That's My Boy is similar to Dirty Grandpa, except the gags are even lamer and the performances are even more degrading. The film was promoted as Adam Sandler's venture into hard R territory. Here's the thing though, Sandler's trademark crude humor is tailor-made for 13-year-old boys. So why make a movie that your target demographic can't even buy a ticket to?
Is this really happening?
This is happening.
And that doesn't even begin to describe just how incompetent this comedy is. With senseless swearing, a twist involving incest, and a subplot pulled right out of the Mary Kay Letourneau case, the film seems to think that it's being edgy when really it's just being childish. And just when you think it can't possibly get any more desperate for laughs, Vanilla Ice shows up.
What is Vanilla Ice doing in our room?
He's, my other best friend.
Yeah, and a wicked good rapper. Give it up for him. Come on now.
Give it up.
My boy.
Number 4, Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star.
Don't let these people get you down. I can feel it in my bones. You're destined for greatness.
Like That's My Boy, Bucky Larson is another R-rated comedy that will only appeal to middle schoolers who think that fart jokes are the pinnacle of humor. Whereas Sandler is at least a bankable name, however, Nick Swardson is basically the poor man's Kevin James.
You don't look like like the average porn star.
Oh yeah, because I'm wearing a sweater.
We're not sure who wanted to see Swardson headline his own movie, but then again, we're also not sure who keeps paying money to see Happy Madison Productions. Bucky Larson operates on the logic that if the main character speaks in a weird voice, wears a dumb wig, and constantly shows off his buck-toothed smile, the film will eventually get a laugh.
They pay you to glue those chopsticks on?
To glue what sticks?
Baby, I don't think he works here.
I don't care. If those are real, then I gotta get a picture with the Beaver Man here. Watch this.
Meanwhile, the entire plot is supported by a paper-thin joke. Bucky Larson is an unlikely adult film star. Number 3, Movie 43.
So I'm here to save the day, like I do all the time. I mean, you know, it's my thing. I'm the Batman.
Even if you've never seen Movie 43, chances are you've at least heard about the infamous segment where Hugh Jackman's chin is given a certain feature that requires a censor bar. Believe it or not, that arguably isn't even the most disgusting bit in this anthology comedy. The audience also has to watch Chris Pratt defecate all over a car windshield, Jeremy Allen White endure the sexual advances of his parents, and Halle Berry and Stephen Merchant undergo grotesque plastic surgery. The funniest thing about Movie 43 is that so many talented actors and filmmakers agreed to take part in this laugh-free dead zone. That being said, we understand why Richard Gere tried to get out of it, and why George Clooney outright said no.
Disgusting.
Number 2, Holmes and Watson.
What have you done with Sherlock? Why, Watson? I never left. Amazing. Yes, I know.
The script for this Sherlock Holmes parody reads like it was written 30 years ago. And even then, most of these jokes would have been stale.
A doctor? A woman doctor? What times we live in?
It's hard to say what's more mind-boggling, that this comedy is so dated, or that Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly willingly signed on. Maybe everyone assumed that Ferrell and Reilly would salvage this picture with their chemistry and improv skills.
My research suggests that the sulfurous compounds of the common onion can increase your red blood cells, vital for human health.
Alas, neither brought their A game, or even their D game. Holmes and Watson is one missed opportunity after another, even when a promising punchline is gift-wrapped for the filmmakers. For example, you had Reilly wearing a helmet full of bees and you didn't make a Nicolas Cage joke. See, even we can come up with better material than this.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
You can't actually like me for these murders. We like you very much for these murders.
What's my motive?
The reason most men do stupid things. A woman.
What happened?
If you really need to know, I got carjacked by a raccoon and a skunk. You must be Amber.
Yeah.
So nice to meet you. If you'll excuse me, I need to remove a leech from my no-no zone.
And without that sword, how do we defeat Lazar?
Maybe we can find some other way with nets or something.
Nets! Oh, that's a great plan.
If you ever, you want anything, you could always ask me. Hey, how's that ball working out for you, huh? A lot of fun, man. Any disco parties?
When we first met you, there was something attached to you.
Oh, that was a hemorrhoid. It's good now.
This dark entity has attached itself to him, and now it's feeding off of all of you.
So what you're saying is that this is all Malcolm's fault?
That's right.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Jack and Jill.
How we doing? Where were you? I've been waiting forever for you. This place is creeping me out.
Why so many bags? Are the Knicks traveling with you? What is with this?
From Grown Ups 2 to The Ridiculous 6, Happy Madison has not only brought us some of the decade's worst comedies, but also some of the lowest scores in Rotten Tomatoes history.
Really, it's fascinating. How does it work, Mr. Subway Sandwich? Just tell me more.
Just Jared's fine.
Call you Jared? Okay, sure.
Even with the studio's track record, however, we cannot believe a comedy like Jack and Jill ever got made. Adam Sandler plays Jack, an advertising executive who works in a lot of shameless product placement. Sandler also plays Jill, Jack's twin sister.
I have to go.
I have to. What did I say?
Oh, no, it's not you. It's the chimichangas.
This is where the pitch meeting for this movie should have been stopped dead in its tracks. Instead, Sandler and company were given almost $80 million to bring this Razzie magnet to the silver screen. Plus, Al Pacino's involvement. Again, we are so grateful for The Irishman.
Where is she?
Al, I don't know where...
Where you hiding her?
She's coming back. She's just not here right.
Hey, Jill!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.